beautiful souls. Welcome to your 3-card pick for the Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde has already started on the 14th of March, but it will last until the 7th of April, so luckily it's not long. Now, the Mercury retrograde is often connected to chaos, glitches, delays, or challenges, but I want you to see what the positive can be of a Mercury retrograde. So focus on the cards, and the one that you're drawn to will contain a message for you. Now, whether it's positive or negative, there's always something to learn in a Mercury retrograde. So focus and be drawn to the one that is calling to your heart and soul, and it will relay a message to you of what you can expect during this period and what can lie on the other side because of it. When you've decided on the card that calls to you, the timestamps are in the comments box below. So without further ado, I'll see you on the other side. Hello, beautiful soul. If you chose pile 1, this is the message for you. Mercury retrograde will affect you emotionally. You'll be super sensitive to past hurts. You may even revisit something in your life that caused you immense pain, sadness, and even anger or fear. Mercury retrograde can trigger past memories of a time where we wished we could have articulated our feelings clearer or be more direct. By releasing these built-up emotions, you re-empower yourself time and time again. You don't ever want to relive that experience again, but emotionally it lives on in your pain body, your muscle memory, and it resurfaces so you can emotionally come to terms with it piece by piece. This may not resonate with all of you, but Mercury retrograde can trigger some strong reactive emotions to release pressure, to let go of the past, to make peace with or forgive the moment. Now, forgiving the moment is not an act that lets the perpetrator or the experience off the hook, or even offer a free pass or diminished responsibility or accountability. No. Forgiving the moment liberates you from the heavy burden of experience that you carry around in your heart. It lightens your karmic load, it frees you, and it opens you up to the happiness you so deserve. The past has shaped you, left a scar on your heart, and whilst it made you stronger, you are still healing to be able to accept more joy into your life. Mercury retrograde helps you to release pent-up emotional sadness, to make space for a life to be lived and loved in authentic happiness, in spite of the experiences you've had in the past. Anger, sadness, fear, and anxiety are actually healthy emotional compasses triggered in the body to alert you that something needs to change, to be investigated or moved away from. They should be temporary emotions engaging in a dialogue with you to access how you feel about a situation, environment, person, or experience in that moment. They are not to be held on to. They are a map, an internal guidance system to direct you to the right places, spaces, experiences, and people for you. Holding on to these emotions long after the event is only hurting you inside. Mercury is the messenger. Its retrograde asks you to revisit, to declutter the body, the mind, and the soul, to set yourself free and to set you up for its direct motion of openness to all of the goodness that will be delivered to you in the future. We always say don't shoot the messenger, and Mercury retrograde has a bad rap for being disruptive, but everything has a purpose, and this Mercury retrograde is helping you release and let go. Anger only hurts you on the inside. Once it's actioned, it helps reshape your circumstances, remind you that you must action change and reinforce healthier boundaries. But then it must be let go. Holding on to sadness will heavy your step. Grieve the sad times, let them flow. Mercury will safeguard your tears and ensure you reach the gateway to happier times. Fonder memories lie on the other side of catharticism. Remember the good times, let go of the rest. Sadness is a measure that you cared so deeply, gave the best of you, and the opportunity will arise again for elation and happiness. Fear and anxiety will rob you of the energy you could refocus directly into productive pursuits to transform your life. If you can change the circumstances, set action in motion, and believe in yourself and your strength, you've got this. But if you cannot change the circumstances, do not let worry overcome you, for all that shall be will be. Mercury retrograde will slowly guide you through uncharted territory to the place you need to be. Trust the process and do not fear the blank canvas, for it is an opportunity to embrace an adventure, the spontaneity to the unknown, which will become the familiar in time. We are all on a journey faced with challenges from one day to the next, and Mercury retrograde asks you to experience it moment by moment and recognize that everyone and everything has a potential to be temporary. But who or what is meant for you will never pass you by or leave your side, and you must remember that. Life will remind you to prioritize your boundaries and articulate your needs. And Mercury retrograde asks you to let go in order to embrace a lesson or not miss a moment to express your authenticity in future moments. It empowers you and your throat chakra to vocalize your feelings in the exact moment that you feel them. The lesson is to recognize that an emotion is a communication between you and your body and its interaction with outside forces. These communications will help you reshape your personal and exterior landscapes and guide you to where you need to be, where you need to fit, where you feel your purpose is leading you to. Mercury retrograde asks you to listen closely to these deep emotions that arise over its retrograde period and use them as a map, a tool, a signpost as to what would bring you immense joy. Then let these emotions that you find hard to rid yourself of, let them flow, then let them go. Refocus your attention on all the good things you desire to feel fulfilled. Mercury retrograde is your blueprint to plan the next moves in your life and open yourself up to more positive experiences. The power of possibility descends upon you as Mercury motions direct and orchestrates a powerful shift so monumental because you cleared an emotional pathway to accept better experiences into your life. The missing ingredients you crave can be delivered as you've decluttered your heart space and your throat chakra to allow more love, more peace, more prosperity, and most importantly, happiness and fulfillment into your life. See this Mercury retrograde as the pinnacle of change, where the past does not control you. Use it now as a springboard to a brighter future. The Moon card reminds you that emotions are temporary. They come in cycles. But it is here that you learn not to push yourself, to sit with self and not be afraid of any emotions that rise to the surface. Anything that is negative will turn to light. It's time to rest and repair over this Mercury retrograde. The Moon energy is a flowful energy. It is changeable, just like emotions. And the Moon's gravitational pull influences the great ocean tides. So therefore, it's not surprising to see the next card you got is marine life, connected deeply to the ocean, which is also a stabilizing force. This period is to ground your emotions, which will lead you to purify your outer core. You will leave this period lighter than when you went into it. The marine life card reminds you to adapt to the new experiences that you will be having over the next couple of months. This is vital to your health. Because if you remember, marine life is all about the ocean. It is about a production of oxygen below the surface. So releasing emotions give you space to breathe. Be curious of these emotions that rise within you during this period. They should give you space that you need to remember who you are and what you are shifting towards. And also remember that you are visiting these emotions and not the other way round. The outer core card reminds you to be fluid in your thinking, to not hold on to the old. It is beneficial for you to let go. It is healthy for you to have a nimble mind. A reminder that the outer core is just a layer of the earth, and the earth has 4 layers. So right now you're peeling away any emotions that you need to let go to the surface. The outer core is a fluid layer, all about emotion, and it is necessary to life to let that emotion flow. It's a reminder that holding on to the old stunts your growth. So be open, purify, detox, release, and let go. I can see that a lot of you with that High Priestess have been going through something and keeping it to yourself, something challenging. But this period, the Mercury retrograde, is offering you a review for you to reprogram any difficult emotions to clean the slate as a springboard towards greater success and celebration. Some of you may have been let down by someone who was really close to you with that 3 of Cups. This was your internal system, your soul tribe, A lot of you, especially since there's a snake in this card, may have felt betrayed by someone who got so close to you and you loved and gave all of yourself to that person, whether it was friendship, whether it was a high-level commitment in love, whether it was someone even in your working environment or even a neighbor. It feels like someone let you down, and there is a deep wound connected to this. I feel like you're definitely processing this emotion at this time. But out of this sadness comes joy. The Magician card tells me that you're reclaiming your power at this time. And of course, the Knight of Swords indicates that you are in a period of transforming your life. So in order to do that, we must look at the difficult experiences we've had in order to empower ourselves, learn lessons, and triumph over any adversity. I can see a lot of you are looking for Soul Tribe members to build your community. And if you are searching for new Soul Tribe members, if you feel your friendships have evolved or changed or become distant over the last couple of years, I definitely see that you are going to meet people who meet you on the level that you're at right now. During this Mercury retrograde, not only are you processing emotions, but you're deepening your intuition, which is already very deep indeed. To have the High Priestess, along with so many cards connected to water and emotions, it tells me that you are a very deep and sensitive soul, and you actually have insight which borders on flashes of psychic ability. This is a period where you can sit with self and really hone that at this time. You often see under the surface. You notice the undercurrent of what a person is thinking. So you may actually read people's minds at this time, but it's always important not to assume and to communicate how you're feeling with that person just to get the facts before you make a judgment on the situation. With the Magician card, it tells me that you are everything that you need to be. Everything you need is within you, and anything you turn your hand to, actually you're naturally gifted at. But I feel right now your focus is on transforming your life. Major change is happening for you, and with that Knight of Swords, a lot of you may feel that life is going so quickly. So this is a call to slow down your pace. Sometimes Mercury retrograde comes on in to affect us in a very challenging way emotionally, in order to not rush away from self, not busy ourselves and avoid something that needs to be healed or processed, or even just lose ourselves in the moment through creative pursuits or endeavors in order to kind of like run away from a past wound. This period is going to stop you in your tracks and make you feel extra sensitive about something that you experienced, but you are protected and redirected at this time. And as you come out of this Mercury retrograde, this is your time to shine. This is where all these radical changes will take shape, and this is where you will celebrate. The Three of Cups actually is a celebration card. It indicates better luck and opportunity. Some of you may also be thinking about where you feel like you belong in the world right now. And you could be making major decisions about relocating at this time. You may even be considering different places. But if you sit with self over this Mercury retrograde, it gives you time to reflect on where you truly feel like you belong. And the place will be revealed to you, and you shall know how to stride forward. If you look at the trajectory of the cards, I shuffled each deck individually and each card popped out systematically in a row, where we have the Moon card, which is very protective and insular. You know, deep thinking and deep thoughts reveal emotions that need to be really looked at. For some of you, this is something connected to your family or your community or someone who is emotionally very close to you. And it really is a deep dive emotionally for you to sort through things. You know, on this card, there are sharks, there's pufferfish, you know, there's even a little seahorse right there in the corner. So this can be times of toxicity, experiences that you had that were not good for you. People who hurt you on purpose because they could feel your immense power with that Magician card. There's something magical about you, and sometimes people, they gravitate towards your light, but at the same time, they feel like they're not enough to be in your presence. So rather than walk away, rather than try and match your energy or join you in that energy, they try to tear people down to their level. And I feel a lot of you have had people who are very jealous of you over time. As you can see, the Marine Life card, it moves straight onto the Outer Core card. Very different from the very first card that popped out. Now this card is open and free and strides forward in confidence, purifying, detoxifying. A lot of you will be going through that process at this time. Whether you are decluttering friendships, life experiences, emotions, maybe even food substances or beverages, whatever it is, I definitely see a time of detoxification and, spring cleaning of the body, mind, and soul. It's an empowered time for you to sit with self, really know thyself on a deeper level. Know who you can trust, who are your soul tribe with that 3 of Cups there as well. But also it's a time to share your resources, get more involved in the community. This is a very community card with that Marine Life there. And as you can see, 3 of Cups is about coming together with your community and transforming. The year of the snake is upon us, and those 3 snakes can indicate that you or your friends or your family are transforming, but you're transforming to better fortunes, better luck, and better opportunity. It has been hard, but if you note that even the snake and the skin of the snake gets shed. So all of your cards are telling me of a shedding, a great shedding going on in your life that leads to a pathway where you are empowered, where you are manifesting to a higher degree with that Magician card. And as you can see, the Knight of Swords there is about transforming something in your life and moving forward, not at great speed, but this is a period of you setting the blueprint up for you to springboard from. And there is immense success in your future. But I feel like you're called to know thyself on a deeper level, really implement self-care routines, really look at who you are, what you want, and the interactions you have with the people around you. Who makes you feel like this figure here on the moon? Closed off, and who makes you feel free and able to be your authentic self. This is a reflection of how a person can feel about you in the way that your body is naturally reacting to their presence in your life. So Mercury retrograde is asking you to pay attention. Don't be afraid of this sensitive time. It's actually setting you up to be free. The Knight of Swords is a card of moving forward with great speed after a period of sitting with self and quiet time. So I definitely see here that you're going to be moving towards success, transforming your life in a really positive way, and anything you manifest, it shall be delivered to you. You're ready for the opportunities now, and I feel this period is going to be rich in experience for you as well as rich in a very cathartic way. Now I'm just going to shuffle some final cards just to check if there is any further messages for you during this period. Pile 1. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide beautiful Pile 1 what they need to know at this time regarding the Mercury retrograde? Can you please guide them? I am observant. Angels ask for your attention. Open your eyes, listen, and think about everything that is happening. Trust your intuition and follow their guidance without any delay. Focus inwards through meditation and prayer. I am observant. You're going to see 00 everywhere you go, but this is a very interesting message to get considering all the cards that you got earlier, which is about sitting with self. It's about observing how you feel. It's about observing your experiences and what each experience is trying to teach you and how you can use it in your life to move forward and upwards. So Mercury retrograde is definitely asking you to sit with self. Be observant on your emotions, on your experiences, your environment, and how everything you interact with makes you feel, because everything is connected. And that's all I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much, and love and light. Hello, beautiful soul. If you chose pile 2, this is the message for you. Mercury retrograde will affect you with technical glitches. I really hate to give that message, but as you can see with the cards, it looks like some delays may be coming your way during this Mercury retrograde. This period does not support buying any new technology or apps, as you may experience issues during setup or even have to send things back. Day 1 of Mercury retrograde, our family TV stopped working. It's only 2 years old and will definitely wait until after the retrograde to purchase a new one for sure. But if you have any important documents to print, make sure you have extra ink cartridges, as shipping delays could hamper any last-minute need to print if you run out. If you're waiting on an important correspondence, check your spam folder or your neighbor for a delivery error. If it's really crucial, track the delivery for delays just to check it's not lost in the system. And if you have important meetings, interviews, or events, and you are someone who is rarely late, expect obstacles in your way. Leave extra time to reach your destination, and all shall be fine. If you normally leave 30 minutes early for an event, double it. If you have an important message to send or a deadline, double check the message for errors and triple check the deadline as well. Mercury direct is a messenger who delivers on time every time, but during a retrograde, technicalities delay the processes, so give yourself extra time, extra focus, and do not rush, for you may have to revisit. Essentially, Mercury retrograde wants the best for you, so it's basically asking you to double check the details before you move ahead. If you're launching something new or starting something from scratch and it cannot wait until after the Mercury retrograde, the devil really is in the details, as you may discover a mistake you have to fix. It may not even be your mistake, but it will become your responsibility, or it can impact your process in some way. Mercury retrograde is essentially asking you to slow down and revisit the plan or the blueprint of your purpose. It wants you to find a better way, one you may not have even thought about, so it's deliberately slowing you down in the energy, and the sudden appearance of obstacles or delays is quite by design. If you experience any setbacks, rather than getting frustrated, ask, what is Mercury retrograde teaching me or wanting me to discover in this moment? For example, if that important email will not send due to internet issues, reread the email. Is there a spelling mistake? Have you forgotten to add the attachment of documents that you mentioned in the email in the first place? Everything has a purpose, even when it feels it's hindering you in some way. Mercury retrograde may send you a detour or a plot twist in life which can feel testing and annoy us, but it may actually be helping you to avoid a major pitfall or setback later on. Delays in traffic or travel can be frustrating, but Mercury retrograde might be protecting you from an unforeseen event. So don't push against the energy if it feels that no matter what you do to avoid the delay, something else blocks your path. Mercury retrograde delays our path ahead in different areas of our life for a reason. It's not a negative force. It actually asks you to reflect, refocus, or take stock of the details to reinforce or improve. You may feel called now to slow down and revisit some ideas or projects you once connected to but shelved for another time. Anything that didn't work in the past, Mercury retrograde gives you thinking time to revisit, revise, and improve. So if you've been meaning to edit a screenplay, song, project, poem, or even a book you've been writing, this is a perfect time to ruminate, sit with it, hone it, and get it ready to launch when Mercury motions direct again. If you were meaning to revisit that novel you've been reading but life just got too busy, Mercury retrograde is a perfect time to cozy up with that book and mentally devour it. If you planted seeds in the past and they didn't grow or turn out the way that you hoped for, expect a flourishing after Mercury ends its retrograde period. For it supports anything that you already have in motion, but it encourages you to reflect, learn, and strategize on how to improve it. It's a perfect time to gather knowledge on something you're interested in, learning, improving, or launching when Mercury moves direct. And this period helps you reinforce the foundational blueprint of anything you want to move forward with. Also worth noting is that Mercury is connected to communication. If you're getting a quote for anything, get it in writing. If you're being offered a deal, get it in writing. People have a knack for reneging on deals or promises during this time, but also you may find out that people may misunderstand you, so put it in writing and be clear and direct. Mercury rules the air and technology, basically anything ether related. Internet, satellite, emails, apps, or any technology that helps you run your life smoothly. So some of you may experience anything from a small blip, like having to uninstall or reinstall an app, having temporary glitches getting into financial apps, for example, right through to sending the message to the wrong person, or even having a misunderstanding with someone close to you. Mercury retrograde asks you to exhibit patience and care during this time. It's not a time for rushing into things without due diligence, strategy, and thought. This period offers you the chaotic energy of everything falling together as it should, without resistance. So it's a perfect problem-solving period. I can see that you will make many corrections during this period to get back on track. So it's actually helping you to identify any weak points that need strengthening, to refine your plans and learn from any setbacks that you've experienced from the past. You may feel compelled to declutter your life during this period, reorganize your personal space, plans, or even digital files. The slowdown of mental activity should also ease any stress that you've been experiencing. You can take a logical look at your thoughts to see where you build yourself up in confidence and also where you tear yourself down during moments of pressure. A perfect time to identify where self-care may be lacking so you can reinforce a better mental support system. During this wind down of energy, lots of inspiring thoughts will be delivered to help you move forward when Mercury goes direct again. So have a notebook at the ready to document your genius during this time. Increased patience will show you how resilient you are. From a higher perspective, you can see all the details of your life and see them align. You will emerge from this period with a greater understanding of how to proceed and have put everything in place to move forward. This is your plot pointing period where you leave Mercury retrograde with a solid blueprint of where you are taking your life to next. Sometimes life gets a little complicated and chaotic before you have your breakthrough moment, and this Mercury retrograde is your breakthrough moment. You will have dealt with the chaos to make space for the reward. Anything rewarding tends to have a level of challenge attached to it, but now it's your defining moment, as against all odds, you emerge triumphant. With greater speed, you will then reach your successful destination and champion yourself, for you created the path to all that you desire. You didn't force it, and the universe supported it. I shuffled each of the decks individually, and I can see with the trajectory of the cards that each one that popped out in turn actually has a journey in itself. The winds of change are upon you during this Mercury retrograde, and it tells me that you're transforming your life. But also, as you can see, the speed at which you do things will be slowing down, because this card, even though there's a figure jumping across the world there at great speed, it actually reminds you to slow down and savor the moment. Everything will be coming together as it should. But as I can see here, there's going to be a lot of technical difficulties, just like my camera blurring right now. But, as you can see, there's going to be some transformative technical difficulties with that Winds of Change card, okay? But also, as you can see, I feel it helps you get a greater perspective of all the things that are going on in your life right now. And as you can see with the Atoms card, everything will come together as it should. And as you can see with this card as well, you have the Two of Swords. This figure, beautiful figure there. There are so many hands for you because I feel like you're going to be very busy during this period. Perhaps you're going to be trying to fix things or work things out. And you're going to be noticing that the universe is asking you to just slow down, to savor the process. You don't always have to be a human doing. You can be a human being. Now, of course, life is challenging and we always have something to do and be on the go. But I can see here with that Seven of Pentacles, this is a card of savoring the moment, but also it indicates that all of your hard work, it will pay off. And this is also a card that reminds you of the alternative path. So for example, if you're experiencing some sort of glitch, whether it's technical in nature or it's connected in some way to a delay in travel, it's basically asking you to look at the alternative. So you may discover a different path that is easier to get to your destination. You may discover a piece of technology that aids better to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Everything is connected. That is what that Atoms card reminds you of, that we are all connected and every experience you have, it is connected. So when things feel like they're against you, even when the tide feels like it's against you or it feels heavy in the energy, if we keep trying to push against it, then we're actually going to be slowed down. But if we just turn around and work with it, that's when things start to come together. And your Seven of Pentacles there reminds you that, your hard work, it will pay off. You do not need to go against the tide. In the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Seven of Pentacles shows a figure looking at an incredible tree with pentacles on it, but one pentacle is ripe for the picking. Now, that figure is not going to force taking off the rest of the pentacles because they're not ready yet. They're not ripe. So this means that you're working with nature. You're working with the power of possibility, and things are moving in the right direction. You do not need to hurry things up. Some of you may feel like you should be further along on your path than you are right now, but everybody has a path to take. And some people are going to be in pole position right now, and then further on down the line, they're going to go to a different position in their life. And then you will hit pole position and be in the front of the race. You know, life doesn't actually have to be a race. You're not competing against anybody. You know, maybe ourselves sometimes we like to improve ourselves, and I see a lot of you will be going through a period of self-improvement during this time, but I feel this is about acknowledging that you don't have to rush, because everything that you are desiring and working hard towards accomplishing in your life is coming together as it should. As you can see with the Page of Pentacles, this is all about effort and hard work. And the star energy indicates wishes and dreams aligning, but also success and a measure of insight and clarity as how to proceed. Sometimes Mercury retrograde, it slows us down so we can see the bigger picture. And that's why this figure here in the Speed card is getting a higher perspective of all the things that are going on in their life. So Mercury retrograde slows things down so we can elevate, take a step back and look at that bigger picture. Because when you're in the middle of stuff, whether you're transforming your life, whether you're building something, whether you're creating something, sometimes we get too close to it. As you can see with that change wind card, she is literally connected to all of that change that is going on around her. And sometimes when we are in the middle of something, we cannot see the wood for the trees. So this Mercury retrograde is going to find every way possible to make you sit and think and slow down the energy, but this will be very beneficial to you indeed. As you can see with the Winds of Change card, resisting change is useless. Basically, change is the one constant that we all experience in life, but this is a period where you are being prepared for change and you are ready, so you can be flexible in these changes. Mercury retrograde is giving you this pause in order to manage stress and pressure. And I feel this is a period where you're going to implement self-care to make sure that you get the best version of you so you can conquer the day or the project or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish at this time. I mean, as you can see, something needs to change in your life right now, and you're being given an opportunity to springboard towards something that you're building where it all comes together. I can see here with the many hands that you are multitasking, and I feel like you're finding something alternative that is going to be very rewarding and may even complement your path, but it requires some sort of change there. And that Page of Pentacles could be the start of something, and it's based on some sort of news that will come towards you during this Mercury retrograde. And as you can see with that star energy, this is the reward. This is the success. This is about you being known for whatever it is that you do. This could be your reputation going from strength to strength. This could be that you are someone who encompasses all the pressures and experiences. Even when things seem like they're going against you, you still manage to find a way because you're flexible. You're not pushing against the tide. You're working with the winds of change. You know, as the famous saying goes, if you're in a ship and the winds feel like they're against you, adjust the sails. And I feel right now you're adjusting the sails in your life in some way in order to end up here at this star energy, which is all about a wish being fulfilled, seeing clearly to have your needs met, and building a healthier response to the environment around you so that you can articulate your needs and get what you truly desire. Also, the Two of Swords is a period of stagnancy. It means it's giving you a pause in order to think about your path. You know, often on the Two of Swords, it's a figure who is going inwards to connect to intuition because they're about to discover uncharted territory, but they're about to make a move in their life and they're not sure if they're safe. They're guarded. So if you are trying to make some changes in your life right now and you're not sure how things are going to work out for you, I feel this is a period of pause and reflection that you need in order to plot point the next steps on your path. And whatever your next move will be, it's going to be very successful indeed. The Speed card reminds you of the speed in which you are doing things in life. If you go too fast, you're going to miss something and maybe have to revisit it to change it, because Mercury retrograde is all about revisiting things that we have on the go, or we have paused, or we have been meaning to get round to. It's about revisiting old energy or old projects, or revisiting something that we need to be mindful of to transform it for the better. And I feel this period is asking you to be mindful of speed in which you do things, such as eating or working, or, you're not wasting time by taking a moment for yourself. You're not wasting time in order to give you some self-care. This is a time to savor the experiences of your life, because time, although it's a man-made concept, our concept of it does speed on by, especially when we are in the fast lane. So I feel you're being asked to stop and smell the roses during the Mercury retrograde. Now, the Mercury retrograde will not last long, of course, and it's just a pause, a gentle pause for you to recharge your batteries and get clear on the next steps, which will lead you towards success. And of course, success looks differently for everybody, so it depends on what your idea of success is. But with that star energy, you shall have it. I feel your Mercury retrograde is asking you to be discerning of what is worthy of your time, to take stock of quality time with people you care about. So something about the nature of time or speed needs to change here, so that you can build something that you've been meaning to get round to, so that you can focus on some sort of new start. A lot of you are looking at the effort that you put into everything that you do and seeing where you get it back. Who's got your back? What is reciprocal? Is there anything you're giving to right now that is draining you of your energy? This is your time to shine. This is your time to tap into your infinite power and recognize where there is reciprocity in your life and where something or somebody is draining you or trying to prevent you to get to where you need to be. The Atoms card is literally reminding you that everything is connected. If something comes in to change your life, it's for a reason. It means you have to be flexible and deal with it. Everything is coming together as it should. And it may give you a moment of pause. It may make you focus on an alternative path, but ultimately something new is opening up for you to be successful, for you to reach the star, the wish. Sometimes the universe can see ahead and says, this is not the path. I'm going to throw you a bit of a plot twist and send you an alternative path so that you can be more efficient, so that you can be less stressed, less pressure, so that you can really achieve everything you desire. And I really feel here that some sort of change is actually bringing you straight to this star energy that is full of success, reward, happiness, and healthy pursuits. And there is definitely a brighter future for you to look forward to. Some of you may already have been going through a period where everything is changing for you, and it just feels like life is a mile a minute, that you can't catch up with yourself. You're trying to build something, or maybe even trying to rebuild something here, and you feel a little bit stuck or a little bit disassociated with everything because you're always on the go. There's always something to do. So the Seven of Pentacles is basically indicating that you can save your position, you can actually transform your position and do whatever it is you need to do, but be open to new opportunities. And you are stable and grounded, and you are aligning with something that is better for your future or helps you in some way. But sometimes it has to start with change. And, for some of you, if you are rebuilding after a period of difficulty, I can see that things are going to get infinitely better for you there as well. It's worth noting that as everything is connected, you are electric and vibrating in motion. And you're building something that is going to bring long-lasting change. But there is room for infinite variety. As some of you may have been doing one thing all the time and you may have felt stuck in a bit of a rut. But now this change is going to bring you brighter, more exciting opportunities your way that you will embrace with both hands. Something is definitely being offered to you with that Page of Pentacles. And for a lot of you, it could be some sort of new money or some sort of increase financially, because I feel a lot of you are focusing on your finances at this time. But don't be afraid of any glitches that occur during a Mercury retrograde, because I feel it gives you ample time to really think through the next steps and illuminate your path so you can find a better way rather than rushing into something without discovering an alternative path. Also, this atoms card, it really, intrigues me because I feel each atom is composed of a nucleus and one or more electrons bound to the nucleus. It's basically made up of protons, and this can indicate that it's charged with a positive charge, basically, and it can indicate that boundaries of an atom are not well defined. So therefore, the connection there is to vibrate at a higher frequency and solidify your boundaries. So if you feel there is anything or anyone kind of draining you at this time, this is a pause for you to look at those boundaries and make sure that you're not rushing to put someone before yourself all the time. Whenever we put someone or something first, we inadvertently put ourselves second. And I feel a lot of you, this Mercury retrograde is reminding you of your power, of your infinite being of light, and this is your time to shine. And maybe it's time to remember yourself first during this period. I feel a lot of you are going to even be drawn to pile number 3 because there's a lot in there that connects to this reading about self-care, about rediscovering a part of yourself that perhaps you feel like you've lost touch with because life has been so changeable and busy over the last couple of years. Some of you may have felt really kind of disconnected or disassociated because you've just been numb and dealing with change after change after change, but I can see that things are coming together as it should. You are on the path towards discovering something alternative right now that will complement the path that you're already on. It doesn't mean you're going to abandon the path you're on. I feel like you're going to discover something that complements and actually reinforces your other path and delivers the rewards, but also helps you create the environment that you wish to connect to and also deliver the wishes that you've been manifesting for some time. Okay, so finally, before I close your reading, I'm going to shuffle some extra cards just to see if there's any extra messages that you need to know at this time. We have I am adaptable. I'm just going to refocus the camera there for you. Flexibility is your forte. When life throws you a curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find excitement in the unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavors. I am adaptable. Now, isn't that interesting that that card popped out? That's definitely something that you need to hear in this message because I feel change is upon you, but I feel like you've got this. I feel like you are someone who is going to go from strength to strength. And I got to say, honestly, that the other pile, the camera had no problem, no refocusing problems, nothing going on there. But this pile, of course, even in your reading, you're getting technical difficulties. I really hate to give you that message, but that's definitely something that was coming through with all of the cards that popped out for you there, okay? But I promise you, it does get better on the other side, and it's moving you towards some sort of monumental change in your life that is going to be so successful and bring you a lot of joy and fulfillment, and even a wish. Something is going to be offered to you as we move out of this Mercury retrograde and into Mercury motioning direct, okay? So that's all the messages I have for you, beautiful pile 2. Thank you so much, and love and light. Well, hello, beautiful soul. If you chose pile 3, this is the message for you. Mercury retrograde will affect you by reconnecting you to a part of yourself that you feel like you lost touch with. Whether it's through music, fashion, style, jewelry, trips down memory lane, both cerebrally and physically, you will reconnect to a part of yourself that you feel you have been missing for some time. You might literally declutter your closet or discover items you'd forgotten or thought you'd lost and feel called to revisit old haunts that call to you to see how they have changed. It triggers you to reflect on how you've changed too, to assess where you've come from and where you are now. You and your soul tribe might book a bar or a restaurant that you used to frequent, or you might even go solo to a place that's always had a special affinity to your heart. Expect reunions with old friends too, or reigniting business connections or people you don't see as often as you should or would like to. Maybe even an invitation to a reunion or an old business alliance reaching out with an opportunity. Bumping into people from your past really is a major possibility now too. Or even people from your past reaching out to rekindle connections or even reminisce on old times. Something from your past is returning to your present to inform you, to remind you, or help you reinforce a boundary. You've grown so much and are only accepting positivity into your life from here on in. You may be called to reread books that had a monumental effect on you, music that made an impact or has an attachment to a time, a place, a memory, or even music that made you feel wild and free. Maybe even catch a rerun of your all-time favorite movie. Revisit a gallery to ponder on your favorite piece of art. Any exhibitions, events, appointments, or even opportunities are resurfacing again for you. So if you miss something the first time round, expect a re-emergence for you to connect to this time round. This Mercury retrograde will also affect you in a very philosophical way, as it reminds you not to let the pressure or challenge of life rob you of your passionate spark. Mercury retrograde encourages you to slow down and to reflect on what you feel is the missing ingredient. Identify it and manifest it. Remember, Mercury retrograde is very cerebral. It reminds you that what you can visualize in your mind, you can hold in your hand on the material plane. So it's a perfect time to visualize and prepare a strategy and be ready to move forward when Mercury motions direct. You may feel called to unleash your creative side too. Delve deeper into a hobby or a physical activity. This period essentially asks you to ponder on a time where you felt freer, wilder. What sort of things did you do during that time? Well, Mercury retrograde invites you to revisit some of those aspects, those projects or those activities to remind you to have more fun, to be more spontaneous. This Mercury retrograde is perfect for you to go out on a date night with yourself, to remind you of how brilliant you are, how strong, resilient, and passionate, fun, caring, and how lovable you are. Mercury retrograde will remind you of all the things that you may have forgotten about yourself, and even send someone into your life to compliment you as a reminder. As this period is connected to deep philosophical thoughts, you may even reflect on a course correction if you're feeling a little bit lost. The goal will always remain the same: happiness, joy, fulfillment, prosperity, and good health for you and those that you hold dear. But the manner in which you lock onto these things may transform during this Mercury retrograde, as it is always helping you find an alternative or an easier way to what you want. Often, Mercury retrograde is chaotic and disruptive, but this helps us break things apart to identify how they work, so we can piece them back together the way we prefer. And of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep doing what you're doing if you're already content with the results. This Mercury retrograde is asking you to reflect on the next steps on how you can live your best life and remind you of who you are, your power, your strength, your sovereignty, your bright light that emanates to the world and attracts all that you are manifesting. We have to get clear and direct on who we are in order to attract what we truly desire, so it can complement our lives. Use this Mercury retrograde to really connect to yourself and all that brings you joy. Reconnect to self-care rituals to enhance mental and physical health. By experiencing the best version of you during this Mercury retrograde, you'll see that Mercury direct will send you all the best versions of life and opportunity to complement your path and complete your destiny and successfully accomplish all that you desire. Now, I shuffled all these cards individually, and as you can see, there's definitely a trajectory of how things are working out for you right now. We can see this card, Purity Ice. It feels like a part of you has lain dormant for some time. You may have felt that that wild side of you has lain dormant, or you yearn to connect to this wild and free side where you can roam and explore and basically tap into that visceral power that you have in order to lock onto a goal and move forward towards it with great speed. But as you can see, there's part of you, especially with the Hermit card, that popped out even in a different deck. Some of you may have felt really withdrawn or even a bit of a homebody during this time. It's perfectly fine to withdraw in order to purify your life, in order to take stock of things. But during this Mercury retrograde, it's really encouraging you to get out there and have more fun, connect to music, joy, and really tap into your personal power and shine your light. The next card that popped out there for you is Voice, and this is really all about being authentic, speaking your needs out to the universe and having them met. And also, the gramophone highlights that music will raise your vibrations and connect you to your infinite power of manifestation. The magic card here is connected to the Magician. So I definitely see here some of you may have gone off grid to really manifest something that is connected creatively to some part of your journey, some part of your sense of purpose. And I see here that your final cards with the World card and the Nine of Cups, it highlights that you are ending a cycle of either birthing something like an idea or transforming something, or even like coming out of a cycle of being in hermit mode in order to lock onto a wish or something that you have manifested that now reflects your true reality. The Seven of Cups here, it reminds you to visualize in order to create your destiny, and that there are many things and many purposes and many possibilities for you to get whatever it is that you truly deserve and desire at this time. Mercury retrograde actually wants you to connect to all the things that make you you, all the experiences you've had to remind you how awesome you are, to reignite that spark, that lust for life, to really focus on what it is that you're wishing for. I mean, the Ice card right here, it reminds you that during this Mercury retrograde, the path will be clear and you will move forward. And also, it's to see your nature in all its purity, to let it comfort you and strip away anything that is unnecessary. The Hermit is also on the same trajectory. The Hermit actually removes itself from society in order to not have any distractions. It actually strips away anything that is unnecessary in life. So a lot of you may be looking at the nature of change in your relationships, in the things that you used to feel brought you joy, but also in things that you felt like you wanted. Some of you may transform the things that you desire in your future, but I feel like you're wishing for something now that will be granted to you, because this Mercury retrograde is reminding you that you will benefit from this time. But you must look clearly at whatever it is that you are yearning for it to be manifested. I can see a lot of you have been feeling exhausted. The Hermit rarely moves into the cave of life on their own until they feel completely exacerbated with the way things are, completely exhausted. So the Hermit kind of like gets really fed up and decides to move away and distance themselves from any drama in order to bring change and peace into their life. And I can see that you have been formed under pressure, because what's really wonderful about this Ice card, it actually connects to one of the most tiny, beautiful kinds of ice that there is, and it's called a diamond dust. And I really feel that you've been shaped under pressure, and you are the sort of person who is a diamond, who's always shown up for people, who's always been there to help people, who's always cared and given all of yourself to a situation. But now it's your time to reclaim your power and give back to yourself. A lot of you may have lost yourself in the nature of giving so much of yourself all of the time, whether this was to a path, to a creative endeavor, to your job, to raising children, to being in a relationship, to just being a good daughter or son, or being a good parent. Whatever it is, if you feel like you've lost a part of yourself, or you've lost touch with a part of yourself, this is your time to reconnect. And remember that you are a diamond. You are someone who is lovable. You are someone who is kind. And you are someone who is valuable. But also, I feel you are learning about your sense of value yourself. Whenever we put another person on a pedestal or put them first, we inadvertently put ourselves below the other person, or we put ourselves second. So I feel this is a time of reclaiming your power so that you fulfill your own needs first and fill your own cup first before you help others. This is your time to connect to your soul song, to really discover that vibration that puts that passionate spark back into your heart. But also, I feel this is an indication that a lot of you have an incredible story to tell. You've gone into this ice mode, this hermit mode, for a reason. And I feel this experience you had has made you really reflect. And it has been something that perhaps has made you go into a protective measure. So I feel a lot of you have a story to tell. So you may actually decide to write a book or write about your experiences or be creative and get that experience out of you creatively onto the page or the canvas or through something that actually helps others. This is a time where this Mercury retrograde is asking you to plainly tell your story, and I feel your voice is that instrument because you are very unique to basically release pressure and also vibe at a frequency where you can help others as well on their path. The most natural thing is for a human to express themselves, but some of you may have felt like you couldn't express yourself in a situation and had to remain silent on something. You may have felt that life has somehow been passing you by, or you feel some sort of experience just kind of like stopped you dead in your tracks and everything changed from there. Everything just kind of froze. But I can see here this Mercury retrograde is going to unlock the real you, that passionate, infinite being of life, that spontaneous, wild side of yourself is coming out. And I feel that is where the magic lies. The magic is within you. And I feel this is you tapping into that at this time. Whether it's through creative pursuits, endeavors, physical activities, or something quiet that just brings you joy. I definitely see here that you are rediscovering that part of yourself. And it just feels like if you've been on ice or disassociated or discombobulated in some way, I just feel like, that fiery side is coming out, and any part of you that lay dormant is now coming to the surface. We've all gone through a very challenging couple of years, and you may feel that everything has changed since then, and that the magic in the world has somehow been dampened. But I do see that there is still magic to be found everywhere if you look for it. Of course, the world is a very challenging place right now, and I do see here that you are someone who always tries to give all of yourself to help people and causes to make the world a better place. You have the World card there, that's why I'm mentioning this, but you are someone who offers unconditional love to people. You don't judge people, you're always open and kind, and you're willing to help everybody that you meet and always leave a place better than when you found it. So I can see here the universe wants to send you blessings, opportunities, and wishes with that Nine of Cups to reward you for this beautiful being that you have become in this lifetime. I feel some of the experiences you've had could have made things go a different way, but you still remain true to your heart. You still remain open-hearted to help people despite people maybe in the past letting you down or not helping you back. I feel a lot of you right now are discovering that you are the magic, and that magic is not a miracle, although it sometimes can feel like that. If you've ever doubted yourself or had a setback, it's a reminder during this Mercury retrograde that doubt will end more dreams than failure ever did. So if you're trying to launch something or birth some sort of new idea or set up some sort of new way of living, run with it. Do your due diligence. Get all the knowledge that you require at this time. Seven of Cups reminds you that anything is possible. You just need to focus on it and believe in it. Believe and receive. And your dreams will weave together all the separate pieces so that all that you desire will come together and be delivered towards you. Now, some of you may be deep in thought at this time as well, reflecting on where you feel like you belong, especially with that World energy. I feel like you're trying to protect you and your family and making sure that you really lock into where you feel like you belong. The World energy can indicate some of you are thinking about emigrating or relocating, and that Hermit energy indicates it may be in a place that is away from the city in some way, or it may be more connected to the land for some of you, but you're looking at your options. The right place will become clear to you, and as if by magic, the right circumstances will also flow towards you. So if you're trying to move home or job or neighborhood, whatever it is you're trying to do at this time, I definitely see the right opportunities will just pop up for you, just like magic. But it is all connected to this sense of purpose, your soul energy. I see a lot of you have been soul searching for quite some time, and it's leading you straight towards the Nine of Cups. That is your final card. So a wish is going to be delivered to you, and it's something that is like the compartments or components where everything comes together. Seven of Cups is like the scattered pieces, but the World card is like it all becomes full circle. It all comes together to create something whole that you've yearned for quite some time. So have faith, because I feel this is going to be a very positive time for you, where the casting of your thoughts involves that element of faith and expertise, but also it extends your confidence and connects to the energy, the vibration of all that is and all that should be, which means as above, so below. Your thoughts become material things. So I feel a lot of you, if you're deep in thought right now, it's actually going to be very beneficial during this Mercury retrograde, because it helps you connect to a wish. Something that you can see in your mind is something that becomes visible and tangible in your hand. I see that during this Mercury retrograde, you will be focusing on all the things that dissatisfy you, so you can transform, so that you can really reflect and tap into that infinite energy that you have. Look at your options. Everything is leading you towards fulfillment and success. So I really feel this reflective time is going to be a wonderful journey during this Mercury retrograde. It is a pause period, so I feel like you're reconnecting to a part of yourself, connecting to music, fashion, old haunts, friends, to remind you of who you are. Because when you can tap into all the different aspects of self, because remember, Seven of Cups are different aspects and different experiences of self that we focus on. And some of those memories can bring us sadness or a need to, I'm just going to refocus the camera there because the camera has, got a little bit blurry there, but it can actually lead to negativity or sadness or withdrawal there. But there is a purpose in that too. We must not ignore anything that makes us feel sad. It's a cathartic experience so that we can connect to our infinite vibration to bring us joy. But also we can focus on some memories that are magical, that will help us rise up. And, we can actually let things go, because the World card is an end of a cycle. So that means that you're letting go of anything that has caused you sadness. You're processing it, not ignoring it, so you can connect to a vibration of happiness and joy and speak your truth to the universe, so that that Nine of Cups can actually deliver you the wishes that you truly deserve and desire during this time. And I feel when you come out of that Mercury retrograde, I can see that there is going to be infinite change, and something you've been manifesting will be in alignment with you and your vibration. A lot of you may be feeling that something came to an end and you're trying to process that, but I want you to be aware that this is only the beginning of infinite fulfillment, joy, happiness, success, and something that you really desire or have been working hard to accomplish in your life. So please see this Mercury retrograde as the end of something challenging and the beginning of something really positive that will lead you towards the success that you've been working towards. Of course, success looks differently for everybody, but whatever your vision of success is, you're tapping into the power of possibility during this Mercury retrograde. And it asks you to slow down, to be deep in thought, to be purposeful and connect to the vibration of all that you desire. And when you come out of that Mercury retrograde and it moves direct, that is when you can see all the things that you've been setting up, like plot points in your life, start to really take shape and take form and be delivered to you wherever you are in the world. I'm just going to get some final cards for you just to see if there's any other messages you need to be aware of at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels, can please guide pile 3. What do they need to know? I am protected. Okay, so I'm just going to refocus the camera a little bit there. We've got 444. Look out for that number, but it says trust the journey. Trust the way your life unfolds, and trust that you are where you need to be at the present moment, okay? You are protected. I mean, these cards can indicate that you've been going through a period of protection in order to work something out, process, or really review your life in some way so you can find a path that best suits who you are right now. We are always ever changing, but I feel the Mercury retrograde is kind of reminding you of your spark, to reignite that lust for life, to reconnect to things that brought you joy once, because they will bring you joy again. But you are protected on the path ahead, no matter the changes that lie ahead of you all. I definitely see here that you are protected and directed. So if you have had a setback, that was only just the beginning of something new that the universe wants you to experience that is better for you long term, okay? So I'll leave it there, beautiful pile 3. I hope something resonates in this message. Thank you so much, and love and light.